going to have to hang on with me today, okay? Yeah, because some of the stuff we're going to show you is it's not for the high Ds, should I say. So
Can be a little detailed today, my friend.
It's going to be a little detailed. So this might be a great webinar. If you fall asleep, send it to your admin, send it to someone else on your personalities. No, I'm just kidding. Even though I'm a high D, I love everything I'm going to teach today. It's a little bit more technical than last time. It's a lot more rip off and duplicate type of stuff. So
awesome. Well, let's get started, man. Justin Nelson, thanks a lot for being back with us. Next Level Agents, podcast number, or excuse me, not podcast, but webinar number 2 now on virtual assistants. Man, we got so much good reaction, so many questions, so many people asking you to come back after the webinar. You and I did what? I mean, it wasn't even a month ago now.
3 weeks.
Yeah. And it's just been significantly like a large amount of great feedback. So luckily was able to twist your arm and you said, cool, we'll do another one. We'll do a follow-up. You offered to kind of walk through the training manual that you put together and offer that to our Next Level Agent members. And so figured, let's come back. Let's do a part 2. It'll be a little bit shorter, 40 minutes this time. But let's let you dive into some of those kind of training topics and aspects for virtual assistants.
Absolutely, man. So, I mean, we've been swamped since the last call. A ton of people jumping on, getting virtual assistants. I think we're up to like, I don't even know, 10, 12, 20, 30 phone calls since the last time that we were on here. So lots of people out there leveraging your business. And one of the main questions I got was, Justin, you kind of talked a lot about what VAs can do for you, but how do you actually implement them doing it for you, right? How do you go from, I know what I want my VA to do, I can find the process on it, but how do I tell them what to do? How do I keep track of it all? Because the problem is, Kevin, a lot of people, they want their VA to do 1,000 things, right? Or maybe they only know of 5 things. And so we're going to talk about today something we put together. So we put together a training manual. I told one of my coworkers, Matt, I'm like, Matt, we got to put together a training manual. Everything we've ever done, let's put it in a training manual. And we thought that it'd be like 50 or 60 pages, right? I will tell you, we are north of about 500 with all the different things we're doing, just because of how detailed we're getting on, like literally just follow it step by step. Because here's the thing, when you get a VA, let's just give them the manual and they can go and do it everything, like instead of having to figure it all out there. And here's the thing, Kevin, I didn't come up with most of this stuff, right? Like, honestly, 8% of it's probably your brain in there. 8% of it's probably Ben Kinney's brain. 8% of it is things I've learned from Cody Gibson. 8% of it is things I learned from Kristen Cole. 8% of it is things and just people I've learned with over time. So if you're good with it, man, I'm going to jump on and just share away what we're doing and kind of what we're going to give away to everybody.
Yeah, bro, hit it. It's
cool.
All, this show is yours.
Perfect. I'd love for you to monitor for me to make sure that we can see everything that's on my screen. But the first thing I want to show you guys is this is the booklet that we're going to give out to everybody. And I'll be honest, Kevin, not even the people that currently have my VAs through our company have this. Like, not even the current people have it. So this is even fresh to them. So I know some of the people on here are with our company and they might be like, wait, Justin, we haven't even seen this. Yeah, that's how brand new this is. So I just want to kind of go through how this document works. And then we're going to talk about how to set up a VA schedule. And whether you're ready for a VA now, 6 months or 12 months, this is going to be recorded because this is going to be instrumental in you getting a virtual assistant, even a full-time assistant, or even the assistant you have now to produce more. So we put together a guide that goes over many of these different tasks. So these were the most voted on tasks, Kevin, last year that people wanted their virtual assistants to know how to do. So I'm just going to go through them real fast. So the very first one was LinkedIn automation using a system called Ulink, Facebook ads, Craigslist ads, Canva marketing, Wise Hire / Indeed. So that's for those that are recruiting to their brokerages, recruiting to their teams. Facebook data scraping for building a CRM. Monthly finance budget tracking, tax receipt management, agent onboarding, running your own podcast. Kevin, you probably hear that all the time now. That's the big things these days. Did you hear that thing with Joe Rogan? He got $100 million deal to move his podcast.
It's $100 million, man. That's why I'm just going to keep on scheduling the guests. I might go to 5 days a week too with guests. I mean, $100 million. That's huge.
I love it. I love it. YouTube channel management. A lot of people want to know how to do that. Instagram management, profile updating. And so you guys will just see that there are things, these are the top roughly 50 things that people voted on that they want to know how to do. And so what we went in there and did is we went and built a manual on how to do every single one of those things. This is just to kind of show you how the manual works. Is each section is color coded a different section, and these are actual examples of how our company is using it either in our business or other people's business with their virtual assistants on a day-to-day basis. Now, Kevin, this isn't just some like, hey, create a Facebook ad in 2 minutes. It is a very detailed, hey, this is where you start, screenshots of the buttons you click. Like, you should literally be able to give this to your 13-year-old and they should be able to make you one of the cleanest ads out there for Facebook, right? It's literally just give them the manual and they'll be able to figure it out. And so here's the problem, Kevin. When we got up into the 300, 400, 500, 600 page range, what we figured out was not everybody's business needs everything. Right. So we really had to figure out a system to be able to sort what does my business need and how do I sort it off for an employee, right? Whether it's an existing employee, an employee you're going to be getting with us with a virtual assistant, or just anybody you might hire down the road. And so, Kevin, have you ever heard of a system called Asana?
Yes, I have.
Yep. And have you ever heard of a system called Trello?
Yep, I sure have.
And here's the thing. I don't know about you, Kevin, but I'm not a big Trello fan. Like, I'm not a big Trello fan. I'm not a big organization fan just in general.
I might be guilty of that as well.
So and here's the thing, NASA uses Asana. I don't know if anybody knows that NASA uses Asana for a lot of their project management. So I'm like, well, if NASA uses Asana, they may be onto something here. And so I want to show you guys how we set up. So the very first thing is what's really cool about Asana, Kevin, it's free. The thing, most 99% of our VA clients, they use the free version. Do not pay. So I got to start off with that. Do not pay Asana. It's going to trick you. It's going to ask for your credit card information when you sign up. Go to asana.com/pricing and get the free version. If you just go to asana.com, the only version you're going to see is the 1099 version because they want you to pay for something you don't need.
Solid tip.
Asana.com/pricing. If you put in your credit card information, make sure it's Kevin's credit card, not yours, right?
Please don't.
And so basically, long story short, sign up for an account that looks like that. And so today's going to be a little technical, but I want to show you how you can take this document right here and turn it into an actual job description. So Kevin, when you first hired someone, what was your very first hire you ever hired? Oh, I think
first one for the team, we had hired an administrative assistant.
Perfect. And you probably just threw everything at them, right? Like, I don't want to do this. Here it is.
Effectively, yeah.
It'd been 30 to 60, 90 days in. You were like, all right, let's review how you did. And let's see how you accomplished those tasks. The biggest problem is you probably forgot what task you had even given them to put a metric on.
Potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way I was. And so one of my coaches and mentors back in the day showed me Asana. Changed my life. So Asana is a project management system. It can do a million things, but we don't need it to do a million things. And so the thing I want to show you is when you get into Asana, on the left side, it's going to let you create a team. So I called my team setting up my first virtual assistant. Okay. So what you're going to do here, and I'm going to give you guys a real life example. I just brought on a new virtual assistant that is going to do all of my podcasting for me, Kevin. He's going to do all my YouTube channels. He's going to do all my Instagram, all my Facebook. And so while we're on this call for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to walk through his exact job description and how we're setting it up. Are you cool with that?
Love that.
Absolutely love that. It is a great way. And Kevin, here's the thing. While people may want virtual assistants through me, this is great for just an admin they already have, right? Well, this is great for even them.
I was going to say what people could pay attention to here is like, you're actually giving away a playbook that goes far beyond their virtual assistants in their business. But, you know, this is absolutely a step in that direction for as their business grows. Cause I know you advocate people hiring people locally as well as your business continues to grow and utilizing VAs, but continuing to kind of build one thing on another. And this is a huge asset for that.
So Kevin, we're actually going to do a quick detour here. I'm going to act like you just came onto my team because the number one thing we get is I need help on social media, Justin. Your VAs only cost $400 to $600 a month. I just want them to do nothing but social media. So I'm going to act like you, Kevin, are my new VA that I'm talking to, that I'm going to onboard you onto my social media. And by the end of these 30 minutes, I feel confident that I don't ever have to do another thing with you, at least for a week or two.
Cool.
You ready? Perfect. So right here under the team setup, what you guys are going to see here is there's a little plus sign. You're going to create a new project with a blank project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this Kevin Daily. Now, Kevin, the reason why we break this off is is it probably fair that there's some things you should do on social media daily and some things you should probably only do monthly or weekly?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So over here under Kevin Daily, I'm going to go and add all the tasks that Kevin needs to do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm just going to call it my all task list. Okay. Now, most of you guys have probably watched my webinars on what I think agents should do on a daily basis. So Kevin, one of the things I want you to do for me, since you're now working for me as a virtual assistant, is every day I want you to go and like the post of my top 250 people. Okay.
Okay.
Now, here's where it gets really fun. Under assignee, I get to assign who's going to do this task. So watch this.
Okay.
Kevin, you're going to be Shireen today. Okay. So you are a really good looking Shireen. So
Really
you're going to click on you and say that you're Kevin. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to assign this to you starting the 27th, because you're starting with me tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we're going to repeat this every single day forever. Now here's the thing. Every single day that Shireen/Kevin logs in, Kevin, when you log in under your task, guess what's the only thing that's going to be on your task list for tomorrow?
The 250 posts or 250 likes. Yeah.
As soon as you click it, guess what it's going to do? It's going to disappear. Now you're done for the day. And so when I go back over here, I now know what you're doing every single day. The next thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you create a Facebook post for my business page, which is Justin Nelson EXP Selling Nashville. From the last webinar, Kevin, I don't know if you know this, I made the decision to move to Nashville and start a brand new real estate adventure since our last call.
I remember.
But here's the thing. I want that done every weekday. So I'm going to assign this to you, Kevin, and I want this every single day. Now, here's the thing, Kevin, you might not know a lot about what I like about social media. Is that correct? You might not, you just started with me today. So you don't know my likes and dislikes about what I like about social media. Is that probably fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So you're going to do this every single day, but right here, do you see this little details button?
Yeah.
I'm going to click on that, and that's where I can give you instructions on what I want to be posted. Now, I'm going to post it in a way that I go like this. I'm going to go over to my Facebook account, and I'm going to type in group 4610, because you guys have an awesome marketing department. Now, I'm not going to rip off and duplicate you, but guess what? I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say, I think that they run a fantastic page, right? Let's see if I can find you on the internet. Here you go, right here. So when I find you here, all I'm going to do is go, wow, they have a great looking page. I would love if your posts look a lot like theirs. Not copy, not rip off and duplicate. But now, Kevin, could you get a pretty good sense of what I liked if I said that I like this page?
Yeah, totally. Just use that as a guide.
Copy over. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back into Asana, and I'm going to post that right here. Now I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go, you know what? I also really like Ben Kinney. I'm going to type in that, and I'm going to look at all the pages that Ben Kinney has, and I'm going to go, wow, he runs a great real estate organization. I'm going to get some ideas, right? I'm not ripping off and taking things. We're getting ideas on, like, is it illegal for me, Kevin, to write Happy Earth Day, but from the Justin Nelson team?
You could do that.
I could do that. I would have never thought about that. But since I hired you, Kevin, and you had time to do research on what's good in the market, you have time to do that. And so all I have to do is copy and paste this and give you a little bit of freedom to do that. Now, is it fair to say, Kevin, that task is pretty well done? Like, you don't ever have to learn anything. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to find what I don't like and like, but you're going to post it, right? Yep. And now here's the thing. I don't ever have to remind you. Kevin, you're like me. We all have CRMs where sometimes we forget our tasks get overdue. Well, guess what? It's the same thing here. I'm going to be able to log in each day and see if Shireen's behind, because if she didn't, mark off the task if she did it or not. Now, I like to give really good direction, Kevin. So what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to put the time that you're going to start working for me, which is 9 a.m. Arizona time, which don't even get me started on that. You guys have like your own time zone. Which makes it really complicated. If you get a virtual assistant from Arizona, you really throw them for a loop when you say that you're mountain time and you're not actually mountain time. It's really fun. And so what we can do here is we can actually add a dialogue of their entire day. And so, for example, Kevin, since you're also going to be doing some of my podcasting stuff and my YouTube stuff, I am basically just creating you. I want you to like all posts at 9 a.m. I also want you to create me the Facebook post for the day. And so as we just come up with ideas of what I want you to do, I'm not able to do this. I also want you to reach out to 50 people to get people on my podcast. So what I'm going to do here, Kevin, and this is where it gets really, really crazy. I want you to do that at 11 a.m. Okay. But what I want you to do is I want you to use the script that I provide you. So I need you to send this script right here. Hey, first name. This is Justin. And I wanted to see if I could have you on my podcast this week. Okay. And then I'm going to put what we call a positive response. If they say yes, this is then what my VA is going to say next. And so now, so if they say that they would, awesome. Can't wait to share all of your knowledge with my database and the entire world. Okay. So now I've just given you a script. So Kevin, tomorrow you would know that you could reach out to 50 people to get on my podcast. You would send this script, and if they replied positively, you would send the next response. Is there too much thought process in that?
It's simple, very easy.
What's the one thing you're missing though right now to be able to accomplish this task?
Negative response?
Yeah, maybe negative response. Or do you know who to do with this yet? Do you know who to contact of the 50?
Yeah, good point. No, I'm not real sure. You just said 50 people.
So do you see up here in the top where it's got a little file attachment? I can go and click Google Drive, and I can open up my Google Drive, and I can go find the exact file that I want to reference. So for example, I have a file called Next Level Profiles that has a list of people that I want on my podcast. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit select, and look what's down here. It's at the bottom now.
Nice.
So now the VA never has to do anything. Now, Kevin, I want you to do that at 11 a.m. Can you see how I have you very productive tomorrow?
Yeah, it's right away. Now I know what to do. In fact, you've got me busy for quite a bit of time.
And what's cool about this is now we can break down what are your weekly, your daily, and your monthly tasks. Because here's the thing, Kevin, guess what? We haven't even got into weekly tasks yet. What are some things that I could have Kevin do weekly on the social media side that he may not do on a day-to-day basis? So like weekly for us is we have what we call Monday, Wednesday, Friday review days. So if I were to open up a new section, I'm going to call it Kevin Weekly. I'm going to create that project. And now it's just a different section for us to be able to separate out their task. So we say every Monday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we now want Kevin to get on there and post a review. Because here's the thing, Kevin, if we put everything on one massive list, don't you think it would get a little confusing to a VA that doesn't even know how to do all of it yet?
Yeah, plus it gets a little overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just by doing this, we're now able to break off those tasks. And Kevin, the really cool thing about this is you can even schedule based on a specific day. And so if I go over here to assignee, I'm going to assign you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start this next Monday, and it repeats every 7 days now forever. And so now you don't even have to worry about ever reminding that person to get that done. And so this right here is how we set up our entire organization. We're able to post all the tasks. Now, Kevin, the other thing we do down here, and this is important for our team owners, is we create a project called Team Owner. I should not be doing this. Okay. So we create a project called Team Owner. I should not be doing this. And we go through, and each and every day, Kevin, I make a list of all the things I did for the day.
I love it.
Like today, I'll just be really honest with you guys. It was 9 a.m. or it was 11 a.m. today. And Justin sent off 5 contracts. Guess what, Kevin? My coach told me last week I should not be sending off the contracts any longer because it takes me 10 minutes per contract to get done.
Okay.
So now over time, what I do is I'm making a list of all these things that I'm doing during the day. And what makes it easy is when you have it in a format like this, all I do is take this task and I figure out who to drag and drop it to. This this isn't me. This is going to go into Kevin daily, right? And I can assign you from here to do that. So what are your thoughts on that, Kevin? I know that's the first time I've ever even showed you how we do the behind the scenes look. And honestly, no one, unless they've paid us before for a BA, has even seen this.
Well, number one, I like it because again, I'm going to take this back to something you said at the beginning, which is you're actually showing someone how to build the training and task flow for everyone in the organization, not just a VA, but also how you can add to it and build on it. So this is pretty solid. I think too, and we talked about this on the last webinar. The biggest question I think why people don't hire VAs is number one, the reoccurring, the money adds up, right? We talked about with kind of the traditional model, but the other piece is people that feel like, well, I just don't know what I'd have them do, which is obviously why you're here again, because you've got so many different ideas and things that you've actually trained VAs on over the course of your career.
Absolutely, Kevin. And here's the other thing is I go over to the sheet here and I look at all the things that we provided. And I go, cool, I want to work on my email management. All I have to do is go over here into the team owner and say email management, figure out how I want to do it. And then I get to assign it to whoever I want to have this. It doesn't, and it's just so easy to flow it all into here. And one of the keys that people miss is the ability to go into the details section and put exactly how this is done. This is what we call standard operating procedures and a job description at the same time.
This is huge. We just got a quick note. Nisa said, this is freaking awesome. I have a VA and I get crazy trying to think of things for her to do. I mean, this is why we do webinars, right? Why reinvent a wheel when someone's already done it? And that's one thing that Justin, why we've always gotten along so well, is because you've always been willing to share with what you do well with everyone else. And the things that you've gotten better at, you're always willing to kind of give that out to people. So totally agree, Nissa.
So I wanted to show you guys something. So SOP stands for standard operating procedure. So for example, we have a standard operating procedure for Craigslist ads, SOP. So Kevin, I want to show you something here. Do you see how I put this fake line here, right here on the screen?
I did.
So what we'll do is we'll take this document that I made right here. And what I'll do is I'll take the processes and I'll go back into here and I will create blank projects and I'll call it, let's say, my recruiting SOP, right? I want to grow my team bigger. How do we recruit on our team? And so I'll just go through and I'll make all the standard operating procedures in here, because now if you're going through your daily basis, Kevin, and I say, hey, I need you to run Craigslist ads, guess what you can go and view now? You can go over here to the left and it's right there. It has the thing. Now, Kevin, I used to be on a team where my mom was my transaction coordinator and Brooke Langston, who's still with my dad, is the transaction coordinator, and they all loved Trello. As a high D though, I could not stand Trello. I thought it was the most clunky thing ever. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, whatever the admin wants is what we're going to do, because that's our lifeline. So what I like about this, Kevin, is if you're a Trello guy, cool. Guess what? I can click this board button and guess what Asana turns into? It turns into Trello. So now you can use the tool however you want to use the tool.
Love that.
And so now you can figure out, well, this is how I'm going to use the tool, right? And you can look at a breakdown of your day. And so now you can use it in so many different forms and fashions. You can look at a timeline. Where are we at on the day? Where are we at on the calendar? So if they want to look at what they have next Monday or Tuesday, they can look at it all in here and it's also integrated. And so I want to give you guys, for example, a lot of people use this for their team onboarding as well. It's not necessarily the best solution, but it's definitely a solution that you guys can use with this as well. As if you guys are a smaller team, not wanting to pay for a big system, this is another great way to take people through the different steps through the process. Kevin, did we have a few questions come in, or was I just seeing something pop?
I've handled them as they've come in, so we're good.
Cool. Perfect. So Kevin, what we did is we took this list of every single thing. And what I realized is we don't have to go put all the details in here. I love to copy and paste YouTube videos. I am the absolute best at this. So Kevin, because it's your first week with me, I'm going to create a blank project and I'm going to call it things, or I usually call it Kevin's need to know, right? And so when I create that project, I'm going to slide that up into your little section. And this is where it really gets fun, because I'm addicted to YouTube and I love YouTube. And so I'm going to add a section called YouTube Learning, right? And so I'm going to take everything that I possibly want you to learn how to do, Kevin, and I'm just going to put the YouTube links in here. That is all I'm going to do. I'm going to go find a YouTube video on the subject, and then I'm going to go post them into here. Because we talked about this last week, or on our last webinar. We talked about not only having to be the one to teach your VA how to do something, but how to be able to organize it to be able to have that system teach them for you. And so if I were to jump over to YouTube and I were to look up how to post Craigslist ads, Kevin, I'm pretty sure you guys have even done a video on that years ago. Like, are there videos on how to do Craigslist ads?
There are a ton.
Yeah. Ben Kinney is the one that taught me. I'd go find his video that I'd like. I'd copy and paste it in here. I should not ever have to teach that to you again, right? You should know exactly how to do that project. So what questions do you have about this, Kevin? That's really a gist of what I wanted to show, but you can see me and you got a pretty busy day just tomorrow on this piece.
You know, honestly, like right now, my questions, I don't really have any. This is pretty clear and precise with the way you've like thought through this, because I know we're running short on time already. What else should let me ask you, like, what else should I be thinking about when it comes to the training of our VAs?
Absolutely. So I love right here, and I don't care. This isn't only a VA thing. I love start of the day and end of the day. So I love to go in here and I love to put the start of the day. So I'll go in here and I'll basically assign these tasks, and I'm going to take it here and I'm going to say, Kevin, every single day, what I want you to do is I want you to send me an email with the following, right? I want you to check in with me every single morning, and I want you to send me what time you logged in. Right now, again, if the person's in the office with you, that might be a little overbearing, but I'm talking virtual assistants here. And so we're now reminding them to clock in and clock out. A lot of real estate agents get really, really lazy with this, and they don't tell their people when to come in. Now, again, I get it. Virtual assistants, 1099 contractors, employees. I get it. There's a lot of weird areas here. But I also love what we call an end of day, Kevin, because I'm sure there's a lot of times that your admin want to send you something, and they're like, well, I can't do my task unless Kevin does what he needs to do and gets it to me, right? And so we say we need you to send an end of day report. And I want the end of day report to look like this. I want you to, number one, list all the things you did for the day. Now, some people think that this is micromanaging. When you first get a new employee, you don't know if they're doing a ton or if you don't have enough for them unless you ask them what they did for the day. So we'll go in here and we'll just make a list of all the different things that they did for the day. And then from there, we're also going to say, and we have a really fun culture, especially on my team, where I go, number two, things you couldn't do today because I failed, right? And so now they're going to tell you all the things that they thought that they needed your help on. Right. And so now at the end of the day, Kevin, all I have to do is log in and I can see all the things that my team members needed from me on any given day.
I love it. You know, it's funny. I was introduced to this concept of like these end of the day reports from virtual assistants from a friend. And Fred and I started putting those into place as well too. And, you know, even then learn about even more about them from you. And those are, I mean, they're huge. They are huge, especially when you consider the fact that, well, especially right now, right, where most of us aren't actually sitting with our staff, whether we have virtual assistants or not. We're kind of all virtual at this point, at least to some degree. And so, just from a clarity standpoint of like what's going on, I'm just going to tell you too, as like the rainmaker or the team owner, whatever you want to call it, the ability to get a pulse on what they're actually able to accomplish, as well as for the employee, the virtual assistant, or the team member to just have their own pulse and truthfully reality check on what were they able to do and accomplish during the day, and how did that line up compared to what they thought they could do.
Absolutely. And the other thing, Kevin, too, is when they have to go through here, like watch this, Kevin, when you come in tomorrow, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open your screen and you're going to click this check mark button to get that done. It's now disappeared for your screen for the entire day. So what we see is sometimes you're not going to get through it all. And so we'll realize as a team owner or as someone employing someone is we realize they just didn't know how to do it. Or maybe, Kevin, guess what? They may just not be a great fit for your organization.
Yeah. It gives you a real sense of what's happening in relatively short period of time. And again, back to what I love, because what brought us here was virtual assistants, right? We're talking about such a low risk when it comes to our dollars, right? What we're spending for the leveraged and such a high output. And this really is the thing that can show us how much of a return we can really get. It's huge.
Absolutely. And like Kevin, I think the cool thing is like, it doesn't matter like if it's the VA world, if it's, I think a lot of people in the VA world are scared to let their VAs go because the company they may be using, or it's going to take forever to get them another one. But I mean, honestly, Kevin, you sent me a referral of someone. I won't name names, but we were 2 coaching calls in, and I looked at him and I said, "Hey, Eric, fire the VA."
You did, and he told me that independently. By the way, you did name names. You just said, "Hey, Eric," but Eric told me, like, I was on the phone with him, like the couple days after you said that to him, he told me, like, Justin told me to fire the VA and that he'd give me a new one that would be a better fit, and he did. And by the way, a month or 2 months later, whatever it was, he was like, couldn't have been happier with the result of the output and the work that he'd been getting from the second VA after
Absolutely.
he took your advice and fired the first one.
And here's the thing is if we wouldn't have had a system set up, we would have never have known. It might've been months before we figured
Yep.
out that it wasn't being a productive type situation. So Kevin, I know we had a lot of people jump on since we kind of did the beginning of this, so they might've missed the first few minutes. So just to recap for anybody watching this, we're basically setting up Kevin's very first day on the job with me. So Kevin, one thing I want to talk about too is people all the time, and this is something especially database management. I kind of want to get off on a little bit of a tangent here. When it comes to database management, what I love is the ability to also assign other people within this task. So let's take, for example, Kevin, one thing that I'll do in here that my team does. So Kevin, you know the stories I make, like all my review stories and the stories I post onto Facebook and Instagram and all those?
Yep.
I don't make those. My team makes those for me. So Kevin, you're now going to be in charge of doing that for me. So I want you to make me 10 Instagram stories each day. Now, what's cool about this, Kevin, is I'm going to assign this to you, and I'm going to say that this needs to be done no later each day than roughly, I'm actually going to put a time on this one. I need a due time. I need this done by 9 a.m. And why do I need that done by 9 a.m., Kevin? I need that done by 9 a.m. because I need to be able to post those throughout the day. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. You actually just gave me a real live idea. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so here's the thing. Now, guess what? I'm going to make a task. And even though this is in my VA's list, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go, Justin needs to actually post them onto his timeline. Now, sure, I could have my VA log into my Facebook. I have 12 VAs. I can't have them all log into my Facebook or I'd be flagged. So some of these duties I do take on, but I can assign that to me, Kevin. And guess what? I'm going to alert myself each day that by noon, no later than noon, I need to have that done. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I love it.
Now I'm inserting myself into their schedule as well. And because, Kevin, I fail a lot, guess what? Make sure Justin actually posts them to his account. Now it's on my virtual assistant to remind me, because now I have someone else bugging me through the day to do such post. And again, this seems really silly, but Kevin, you and I have only been doing this for 15 to 20 minutes brainstorming, and we're already building your day. Could you imagine if we took the whole day off and just built your day together?
It's amazing.
It's amazing how much you can get done. The other thing is, a lot of people don't use the detail section enough, right? So like in this case, I'm going to tell you exactly, Kevin, how I want you to get a hold of me. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to Facebook message me a soft reminder. Okay. And then if I don't respond to that, you are going to call me. If I don't respond to that, you are going to change the password on my Facebook profile. No joke. We have these in place because if I figure out I can't log into Facebook because I'm on Facebook all day, I know what happened. I put something in place of pain, right? And my virtual assistants know how to do that for me. And so I know that I don't leave things. Now, Kevin, let's say you come in tomorrow and you have a question about this. Like you're like, all right, Justin's failed, but I forgot how to change his password on Facebook. How should I do that? Well, guess what you can do down here, Kevin? You can go down here and go, hey, @Justin, I forgot how to do XYZ. Can you help me with this? This also is a running database of all the discussions you have around different tasks. So Kevin, and tomorrow in your Asana inbox, if you were to log in, it's going to tell me all the different things that I missed.
That's huge.
It's so easy to use. You just can't not get around it. So Kevin, if you look on my screen here, there's these SOPs. We have in our company over 200 of these. We have over 200 of these for every single thing. So I just want to kind of get people's brains rolling of how this can turn into one master thing. So Kevin, for example, I also want you to write my handwritten notes for me. You're like, how do I do that? Well, you're going to use send out cards to do them, right?
Love it.
Did you get my send out card in the last week or two, Kevin?
I did. Fred and I both got, they were both very funny, by the way.
Perfect. And they came from my VA.
I figured as much.
And guess what, Kevin? I don't know if you remember what yours said, but was it pretty personalized to you?
Oh, it's not just personalized. I mean, it had my picture like on it. Your
picture. And guess what? I didn't do that. My virtual assistant went back through our message chain and said, how does Justin usually speak to Kevin? What's the slang? What's that? And they're the ones that made it. And so you would awesome. And so it's, I mean, I think they might've used a cuss word or two in there. Like they have the freedom to match the slang that I communicate with that certain person with. So it's really, really interesting to get it all the way down. But I would have a handwritten note SOP. You're going to log in to sendoutcards.com, right? And so you can really get crazy here. I think for the high Ds in the room, here's what I do, Kevin. If I'm a high D, we teach our VAs how to do this for you. So as a high D, I tell my high Ds, just sit here and tell everybody what you want done and have someone transcribe it into this document for you. Like, don't sit here if you're a high D and bang your head into the computer because you're having to click buttons and type things. Literally just speak to someone and hire someone to put it in a system like this for you. So that way, all you have to do is do what you're good at. Speak. You can walk around. I don't care, Kevin. You can drink a beer while you're doing it. It doesn't matter. Just sit here and speak what you want done. And that's what we're doing this week. We had a client last week that said, man, Justin, I just couldn't imagine having to build this. I said, can you talk? And he's like, yeah, I'm a high D. I can talk. I said, perfect. You talk and I'll transcribe it all for you.
Well, this is why you offering to give out the manual is so valuable, because sometimes people just need the trigger. Like I didn't think, like I literally added a task for one of our VAs while we're on this webinar of an idea you gave me on this webinar. Right. Yeah. So it's not that I didn't have him doing similar tasks already. It's I hadn't thought about that one. And so I just needed the trigger, which is why this is so valuable, which is why I love that you created this for your clients and for and lower level as well of it for everyone else. Like it's huge. So it's already 40 minutes in. We have two quick questions. Can we answer those real quick, or are we at a place where we need to keep going through? Okay.
Of course.
So first question is actually from Anthony. He's, I believe, a new client of yours. His question is like, hey, I signed up, but like, what can I do to prepare myself for working with a virtual assistant?
Yeah, absolutely. So, really what all we can do to prepare is start. I mean, Kevin, here's the cool thing. I mean, I'm going to speak to how our company works. I can't speak to everybody's companies and how everything works in the world. But the way our company works is Kevin, if you just bring me the 20 or 30 ideas that you have to use, literally in the 4 weeks of coaching that I take you through, I'm transcribing and I'm actually building this. Could you imagine 4 1-hour coaching calls with me, Kevin, where we literally just build all this?
It's pretty solid.
Like, there's no reason after a month we shouldn't have everything built. Everything. I don't care if you're recruiting. I don't care if you're selling homes. I don't care what your position is in the real estate world. The biggest thing that you can know is know what you want them to do. Right now, if you were just getting a VA off the streets and you didn't know how to implement systems or ideas or have accountability partners or a coach or anything like that, you would need to have a game plan on how to implement that. When it comes to me and Anthony, all you got to do is bring me the 10 to 20 things that you want done, and we'll literally just build the systems for you. Because here's the other thing, Kevin, I didn't tell people about. Over here on the left side, all these SOPs, we actually have a special system that we can integrate all of our SOPs we've ever made, and we can put them directly into the accounts of our clients.
Solid.
So that way they don't have to write anything. Now, if you're doing something I've never done before, I'm going to help you write it. Right? If you've already done something we've done before, and here's the thing, Kevin, I've probably done everything. I've either failed at it or been successful at it, right? One of the two. And so either way, we're going to build the system and process and just implement it in. So
that's awesome. All right. So 2 other quick questions. Anthony said, wow, holy I agree, Anthony, right? So good. I bet you're glad now you're working with them. Chris asked, is it secure to put like login info into Asana as well?
Yeah, great question. So I always say, it depends. It's secure from the outside world. Is it secure from your VA? Right, Kevin? So here's the real talk. If you hire someone that sits next to you all day, Fred, he could look over at your computer and take anything he wanted to for the most part, right? So
Yep.
I truly believe when it comes to security, you want to secure from the outside world first and then inside. So like, would I put the password to my Canva account in here? Very possibly. Because what's that? The worst thing that's going to happen to me, right? Am I going to put my bank account information in here? Well, no, I would never even do if it was secure because I don't want my VAs to know that. I don't want my administrative assistant to know that. I don't care if they're here or there. And so what I would do, Kevin, is check this out on your daily. And you're actually the one that gave us this tool back in the day, by the way. Props to you guys.
I was gonna bring this tool up if you didn't.
Yeah. So what I would do on yours here, Kevin, is if I needed you to log into my Instagram, what I would do is I would add a little description here, and I'm going to say, Kevin, log into LastPass.com. And I want you to, if anybody doesn't know what LastPass is, it's the best system ever. I learned it actually at your boot camp for expansion. Like, man, I was like 12 when I attended that thing.
I think you just called me old, but whatever.
I was like 12 when I attended, but LastPass, we've used it ever since. So if you guys have never used LastPass, basically your virtual assistant, when they get on their computer, here's the cool thing. They go to Instagram.com, they go to Facebook.com, it automatically logs them in to the system.
Yeah. And you can make it so that they can't even see the password, but they can log in and you can boot them out of it whenever you want. It's pretty solid. Yeah.
Anytime we let a VA go, in one click of a button, everything is gone. They don't have access to anything. They don't remember passwords. They can't. It's impossible. So LastPass.com is a great tool for that.
All right. So last two things. One of them really, I'm just going to answer this for you. Like, this isn't a question. He wrote it in form of a question, but it's a tip. Like, hey, could you print out this into a hard copy operations manual for storage, just in case something crashes or you move to a different technology down the road? Absolutely. Great point and question, Jeff. And then Chris, last question. Can you incorporate separate teams into one Asana account? Pretty sure you can. But I'm sure Justin can give you more detail on that. So Justin, I know we've only got a few minutes left. We're already technically a couple of minutes over.
Good.
Tell what do you have left that you can drop on us before we leave today?
So to answer those questions, look at this. I just downloaded your entire daily checklist. Now this is downloaded for backup purposes. Solid. So it downloads into a CSV file, Kevin. So that's how I'm actually able to give all of our clients all of our stuff, because I download all our stuff and then you can export it and import it again. So once a month we go in and download it all, so you can use backup for that. The other question, Kevin, was can you use multiple teams? So I'm just going to give you guys a little insight into my world, Kevin. Are you ready? Over here on the left, this is all the stuff we do. So Kevin, I obviously run Sphere Rocket VA. So I run all the virtual assistant placements. That's its own team. I obviously run Ulink LinkedIn automation software company. That's here. I also run my real estate sales team out of Nashville here. And so you can see how I have all the different categories broken down. And then when you open each one, you can see the different phases. And so to answer your question about handling different teams, absolutely. A lot of you guys, and Kevin, you wrote an article about this the other day about side hustles, or maybe side hustles, but also getting other income and other sources. I loved that because we can also use that here. Because we could put all of our other sources of income and all the different things that we need to do on a day-to-day basis in here as well. So to answer your question, yes, absolutely. You can use it in multiple teams. So
solid. All right, buddy. What do you have left for us?
Yep, that was my question for the wholesaling side gig. Absolutely. So it is massive. I would never use anything. So Kevin, I just want to give everybody a quick repeat on this. We're going to send this document out. It is such a big document, Kevin. I'm actually going to have to give people a website to go to. So we're going to email that to everybody. So Kevin, if they didn't give us their email already, which they actually probably should have for the webinar, correct?
If they signed up for the webinar, they did, yes.
Perfect. So it is going to come across with the subject line, virtual assistant database. Virtual assistant database. That is what we call it. Virtual assistant database. So it's going to come across in your subject. Kevin, I don't know about you. I'll probably send out the first quarter of it to start, just to kind of give people something to chew on and to let me put some finishing details on it. But yeah, you good with that, Kevin? Let's just put it on a website for people to go on and download.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's such a big file. We can't upload it into the
We can't
file
email it.
section
We can't
in
even email it. We
NLA.
can't Dropbox it. We
Yeah,
can't do a lot of different things.
it's enormous. So we'll chop it up for sure and get it out to everybody. Justin, where can people reach you? Like if someone wants to take this further, they want to check into Sphere Rocket and see what you're about. Because for those who haven't caught on, you don't just help place VAs, but like you actually take people through a coaching program so that way they get the most out of their experience. What's the best way for people to reach out?
So very first thing, if they don't know about how we do VAs differently than other companies, they need to go back and watch the last webinar that you put on. So we'll put the YouTube link again in the Facebook page. Go back and watch the webinar. We'll send out a video with it to everybody that attended today. If you didn't watch it, go watch it because that talks about how we're different than other people. If they want more information, and I'm just going to be fully transparent with you, Kevin, we had so many people sign up for VAs. I think we're maybe at like 15 or 20 since our last call, that we're actually increasing our prices June 15th. Just to be able to handle the volume that we're doing from the last call. And so if people want more information, the NLA discount is $1,500. And Kevin, you asked, we don't just give people a VA. We take people through 4 weeks of coaching where we actually look at your business, and it's 4 1-hour coaching calls where with what we just did, we do in your entire business. Kevin, I didn't even tell you this. There's actually 2 people from the last webinar that signed up, not even to get a VA. They paid the full price just to get coaching.
So that way they could walk through your process with the rest of their business, right?
With their existing staff they already have.
That's all. I hadn't even thought. I mean, that makes total sense. I love it.
Because here's what he said, Kevin. He said, Justin, most coaches cost between $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And so he's like, I look at it as coaching first, and then I get a VA on top of it. He's like, I already have a VA though. So I would love to implement your systems because you have 12 of them on your team. So you must have something organized to be able to succeed with 12. And so we also offer that, Kevin. Like if people are like, I already got a VA, I already got an admin, but can you help me get them trained up to the point where I'm at? Absolutely. Right. But if you need a VA, here's the pricing on it. It's usually $4,000 with NLA discount. We take $1,500 off. So it's $2,500. That includes 4 weeks of coaching, an hour a pop. It also includes our weekly masterminds that we do each and every week. If you guys need access to those and you're a part of our paying membership, make sure you got our new stuff. And then it also includes them getting a VA, self-placed. So if they want to go take a look at that, we can go to www.sphererocketva.com. And Kevin, on these things, this is just an exploration of their business. We're not selling them that they need a VA. We're not doing any of that. It's purely come on and let's see if you need one now, 6 months, 12 months. You know, we've had people on the call that said, actually, I don't need one today. I need one in 6 months. And we had people that went, man, I thought I needed one in 6 months. I need one tomorrow. And so we get all different walks of the thing. So
solid. And just for those of you on right now live, I am posting that. I'm literally posting the webinar right now inside of NLA that Justin just referenced. It has like a very cute pink hue to the background. I kind of like it. So I think you guys are gonna like it too. At any rate, there it is. It's now posted up in there. Justin Nelson, dude, thanks a ton. SphereRocketVA.com. Use your discount code NLA before his prices go up for sure.
Well, here's
Go
the thing,
take a look
Kevin,
at the old webinar. And yeah, what?
Kevin, I like to talk a lot. So if we have any high Ds in the room that don't want to go and watch the last hour and a half webinar and know what we're about, just jump on my calendar. I can fire hose all of what we do to you just by getting on my calendar. Because Kevin, here's the thing. If someone had told me to go back and watch a webinar, I might not, might be a long time that I don't have. So I just tell people, jump on my calendar. I'm more than happy to give you all the information in a shorter version as well. So.
That is awesome, man. Sorry, I was responding to a few of the questions we have.
Oh, totally good.
Heidi, she said, incredible value, guys. Thank you so much. Dan Button, this is cool. Nice to see some of the stuff we learned in the Air Force applying to other careers. Thanks, Justin.
Just to be clear, I am not in the Air Force.
I was going to say, but makes your older brother Mike happy. I'm sure to hear that.
Yep, it does. My dad is in the Air Force. I'm actually crashing at their house while they're out in Arizona near you partying it up. And I'm out here gutting a rental that was destroyed in my hometown. So super, super fun. Here's the thing, guys. VAs can do a lot of things for you. Clearing out a destroyed rental is about the only thing in the entire world I have found that a VA cannot do for me thus far. So
That's awesome. Um,
I love
dude, solid, seriously, solid work, Justin. As always, this is just as valuable as the last time, if not more so. Guys, make sure your name is on that email list. We'll bump that post back up so Justin can get
Yep.
that first quarter or so of the book sent out. And if you want to learn more, want to consider getting your own VA and training on that and coaching, then go to sphererocketva.com and use the discount code NLA. And I think that's it, man. Justin, you good?
That is all I got, man. If anybody's got any questions, that's where to find me. I actually,
Awesome.
funny enough, 3 people just got on my calendar starting at 2:30 or 3:30 today. So be honest, I got to run with you because we got calls coming up now.
All right, dude, hit your calls. I got a phone call to get on as well. And we'll talk again soon. NLA members, thanks a lot for being here, making this a great webinar. Justin Nelson and Sphere Rocket VA, thank you
You are
as
very
well. And we'll talk to you all again soon.
awesome. Thank you.
All right, bye guys. Hey guys, by the way, if you're on this webinar and you liked it, comment on one of those threads inside of NLA. Let everybody know what you thought of Justin's webinar. Talk to you guys later.
Love it. See ya.